get right into this based on the end of the last episode. I was told I had to watch these back to back. If it doesn't go the way I think it's about to go, we'll do an intro and everything. But otherwise, we're just gonna
Hey, Mom.
watch. I think. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That intro kind of kills it, man. I'll just keep it a buck. It better not. Yeah, family dinner.
Too.
Everyone's so sweet.
Maybe she's in a dream sequence. The fucking episode's called The Body, dude. Maybe she's in a dream sequence.
But, you know, Christmas night, flying reindeer, coming down the chimney. All true. All true?
All of it. I think Anya's bullshitting.
He doesn't traditionally bring presents so much as, you know, disemboweled children. But
Oh.
otherwise.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah.
reindeer part
Yeah.
was nice.
Yeah, we stick with the reindeers.
A daughter's duty, I suppose.
Look, all we have to do is just cut off a little bit of the burnt.
Whoop. Oh my.
Mom, 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 Mom! It's my mom. She's not breathing.
Is she conscious?
No, I can't. She's not breathing.
Okay, I need you to give me your address.
What?
Did you see what happened? Did she fall?
No. I came home and well, what should I do? I can do this. I can do this. Five, 6, 7, 8. Oh, God. Are you there? I broke something.
Hello?
It cracked.
Breathing?
No, my mom.
It's not a
Should
body.
I
It's
make
her
her warm?
mom.
I have to make a call.
I feel like I had that same phone.
She's at the house.
He doesn't know what that means, but it's just a pure state of panic. And the first person she called was her father figure.
We got her. My God, we got
Let's
her.
get her on the truck now. Call it in ahead.
Never brought one back this late.
I'm here.
Beautiful miracle.
Good as new.
Buffy, thank
No,
God
it's
you found
tapping
him.
too fast.
Well, I think you should sit, have a glass of water, and try not to disturb the body. Do you need anything? Is there someone you can call?
Someone's coming.
Let's go.
How do you just?
I'm very sorry for your loss.
I
Thank you.
I appreciate him for explaining the things and then to stop before he exits, but the fact that they just came in and called it and then they just have to leave.
No, don't. No, it's too late.
Joyce?
They're coming for her. No,
Joyce?
we're not supposed to move the body.
How the fuck could you watch this on TV, man? And just to go to a commercial? Because I have to laugh because you know you can sit here like in your emotions and shit, and then it cuts to this, and it's a fucking Domino's commercial, man. This shit cuts and it's your local fucking HVAC team with some catchy ass stupid fucking jingle. That just... Jesus Christ. Since the opening is done of that, it's and I'll probably obviously talk on it more towards the end. My fucking eyeballs burning more towards the end of the episode. But if you've noticed, excuse me. There's no audio. There's no music. There's no background noise. It's silent. Buffy finding her mom is silent. Zipping up the body is silent. Ringing in the ears, sure. Giles comes in silent, staring outside. The only noise is the wind chimes. Silent. It's very real. And now we're getting the perspective of Dawn at school, oblivious to what's happened. It doesn't matter that Dawn was created and she's only a few weeks old. In her mind, she has every bit of those memories of growing up with her mother. That's still her mother. Giles immediately trying to go into helping Joyce, probably thinking that Buffy isn't aware of what's going on because she said she's at the house and he thought it was Glory and he came as fast as he could. And then the panic in Buffy's face of we're not supposed to move the body, and in her saying the body, she realized that she's talking about her mother. And I'll probably talk more at the end of the episode, but Jesus Christ.
You know, my big sister could really beat the crap out of her.
Pain.
It's hard to watch this knowing what the fuck's going on. Like,
Please come with me.
middle of fucking school with people watching, and it should have happened outside or in a car. A really good drawing. The teacher should have took her students away from the window, and the strength that Buffy had to have to hold it together to even walk in that room without fucking breaking down. Because if I had to if I had to deliver that news to somebody at their job, as soon as I saw them, I would fucking break down again. It's so fucking beautiful. This is the first time they've actually showed them kiss on TV. And it's a good time to do it. And it's a big middle finger to those fucking homophobes. Because it's a moment of grieving, and that's something you do is you hug and kiss the people you love. And I'm so happy that that's the first time we see them kiss. But I know what Willow's thinking. If you get sudden news, it's what do I wear? You know, why do all my shirts have to have something on them? Why does everything have to be a graphic T-shirt? Why does something always have to have Spider-Man or Pokemon or I mean, I'm fucking wearing SpongeBob and Patrick socks. I'm wearing Red Ranger shorts because I'm a big kid and this is the things that I love. But in a moment of something serious, you can't show up somewhere dressed like this, and you have the thought of, why can't I just have grown-up clothes? Luckily, I do have a lot of grown-up clothes ready to go, but in a moment of crisis, you can't think, dude.
We can do this. I'm afraid I'm gonna start to cry again.
That's gonna happen. It's kind of how I feel right now.
Sandra cried at the apartment. It was weird.
Yeah, it's a thing we do.
Anya doesn't understand. Oh, God.
Are they gonna cut the body open?
Jesus.
Oh my God. Would you just stop talking? Just shut your mouth. Please.
What am I doing?
She
How
doesn't.
can you act like that?
Am I supposed to be changing my clothes a lot? I mean, is that the helpful thing to do?
Guys.
The way you behave.
Well, nobody will tell me.
Because it's not okay for you to be asking these things.
But I don't understand. I don't understand how this all happens. How we go through this. I mean, I knew her, and then there's just a body. And I don't understand why she just can't get back in it and not be dead anymore. It's stupid. It's mortal and stupid. And Xander's crying and not talking, and I was having fruit punch, and I thought, well, Joyce will never have any more fruit punch, ever, and she'll never have eggs, or yawn, or brush her hair, not ever, and no one will explain to me why.
I told you she didn't understand. She doesn't fucking get it. And it's not a moment to be comforted. She wants an explanation, and there's not one to give.
We don't know.
But I understand Willow snapping because those questions are insensitive, but she's not a fucking person. She doesn't understand that this is something that we have to deal with.
How it works. Why?
I don't have any fucking tissues or napkins or anything, and this is a new shirt. I don't want to fucking wipe tears and snot all over it. Even Xander and Giles sharing a hug as they should.
Love you so much.
I know.
They're not telling us anything.
I still remember how to pee.
It's not
Do you
that.
know where it is? Yeah.
It's not that. Just wants comfort.
Maybe she's mad at me or something.
Because you were the one that told her?
How'd you take it?
Meltdown.
What else would happen? I mean, you're in the middle of school and you're talking to somebody you have a crush on, and then that happens. And then you realize that that whole conversation that felt world ending, that felt like earth shattering and mind altering, like, man, maybe I have a chance with this guy. That conversation means nothing in the grand scheme of your life because something way more important just happened. You can understand her attitude. It's not a bad thing. That's people grieve in different ways, and sometimes it's short and snappy. And I think she just wants to see her mom. It's even more sad because this little girl is not even alive in real life anymore. I feel like in a room that's destined to be that silent, that like some sort of audio would have took place, but now the light footsteps and just a butt naked fucking vampire man. A whole lot of empty
You
cups of
can.
coffee. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Have anything you want.
The sandwiches are meat.
Hot tamales, Mike and Ike's.
I'm just not hungry.
What about Donnie?
She's still in the bathroom?
I guess. You guys wait here.
I don't think they should have this room that close to everything else. My personal opinion. That close to the bathroom, like there should be a key card needed. Then again, they didn't really have key cards back then, so God, that's fucking violent. Laying on that cold, hard floor, just feet away.
Is she cold?
I said, at least they can do is close their fucking eyes, man. Jesus Christ. Buffy and Dawn find themselves dealing with Joyce's sudden death. Um, there is a lot to unpack with the episode. One of the things is the death. I don't really like the inclusion of the vampire. There's some of that seems unnecessary, but it gets the point across in one of the more like realistic depictions of death, because it's always sudden and it's always sad and it's never easy. And life is very fragile. It's extremely fragile. At any moment over the course of the thousands of videos that I've uploaded to this channel, any moment sitting here talking, I could have an aneurysm. My heart could give out. I could just die. And that's it. There's no more pink hat. There's no more stupid jokes, no more witty remarks, laughing at inappropriate times. There's no more Jerry. There's nothing. Like, what happens? This chair sits empty. Computer will collect dust. Eventually, somebody will start taking stuff out of this room until the room is empty. They'll take stuff out of this house until this house is empty. And then the next person moves in. It's a harsh reality. Losing a parent is very difficult. The only thing I think would be harder is losing probably a child. And I do consider losing a pet, losing a child, but for the sake of it, I mean actually losing a kid that you created. But I've never experienced losing a child. I've lost a pet. I have lost a parent. Some of you know that, whether you heard me talk about it in previous videos or Twitch, or I think maybe I talked about it during season 6, episode 14 of the Vampire Diaries. There is something that happens there, which this is very close, just an episode number in seasons to that exact event that I wasn't prepared for, and I wasn't really prepared for this. My father was going through things, and I was made aware of those things, and I visited him before he passed. And then the day that he did, which I don't even really want, I don't want to give the date, but the day that he did, I kind of had a feeling when I went to bed that night, but I was woken up and my mother was on the phone and she was crying. And she told me in the words that she used that are still in my head, and I didn't know. One, when you wake up, you don't know where you're at sometimes and everything's foggy. And then to hear that, I rolled over angry. Not at him, not at anybody, just angry. And I went back to sleep. I don't know for how long. It could have been 20 minutes, but I got up and I had to face that day, and there's really nothing to do. You just wait. And I text people and I called people, and my friends were there for me, and everything's such a blur because like he passed, and then Next thing you know, I'm looking at pictures, and next thing you know, I'm at a funeral home with my family. And I'm 15 and I have no concept of what's going on. Yes, people have passed. I watched my grandparents pass on both sides. I've been to funerals. I just finished my freshman year of high school, and I have to watch a man that only really wanted to watch me graduate. That's what he wanted to live for, was to graduate, for me to graduate high school. And yeah, he was sick for some time, but it still was sudden. It was rapid. It happened faster than I could even conceptualize. The time frame doesn't make sense in my head if I try to put the timeline together because everything happened so quickly. And now I have to go to a funeral. I didn't shed a single fucking tear because I was trying to be a grown up. But the second they pulled the wall back and I saw my father laying in a casket, it made everything very real. Very, very, very fucking real. And all those emotions hit me like a Mack truck. And there's other things. One, I loved my father unconditionally. There was no ill will or beef between us. I don't want my words to imply any of that. There was other things happening at the time, and I'm mad at other people that I shouldn't have been mad at. And I have friends I hadn't seen in years show up, and every bit of beef I've ever had was washed away. I learned an important lesson that day that I don't have beef with people. I don't hold grudges because I know what can happen. My best friends were there, and they were there every step of that day. And something that really rubs me the wrong way about that day was normally when people leave at a funeral, they go the back row all the way to the front row. Like it goes from the back to the front, the very front row. But yet my row left first, and I was in the front row, and I was one of the first people to say goodbye to my father, and some random person got to say goodbye last before they shut that casket. I don't remember all but one thing looking out the window, driving to where he's buried. I didn't know how to get there until I was an adult with a car, with a GPS. My father died. He's not there. I remember I almost picked up the phone and called him 3 years after he passed. I picked the phone up. I called the number and I hung up because it hit me. Like, that's real life. This phone number is still in my phone. I don't know who has that phone, nor do I care. It's my dad's number. I have text messages saved from him on an old phone that barely holds a charge. I have a video of him, and I was so not in the moment that I recorded of my mom having a conversation with him, and I was recording a dog I was playing with, and that conversation's in the background. There's an old voice recorder with voicemails from him. We had a vacation planned the week of his birthday, which was 11 days or so, 10 to 14 days, like 2 weeks after he passed. And now I'm not sure how to grieve. I'm in another state in the sun. My mom did everything she could, but I wasn't in the mindset. I understand her getting frustrated at me, but I was a 15-year-old who just lost their father. I didn't know how to deal or how to cope. Nobody teaches you that. Time goes on. I used to not be able to talk about my dad at all without breaking down or talk about things that had happened or any of it. My brother made me a home video of a bunch of my dad's pictures once, and it's beautiful. And I'm not telling you this to make this moment about me. I'm telling you this to share an experience that many people have also experienced. One day, each and every one of us are going to lose a parent. I'm very aware of life all the time. I know that between me and my girlfriend that one of us will die first. I know my brothers will. I don't want to watch my nephews pass. I know that harsh reality is it's death and taxes. You can't avoid them. I've been to too many funerals. For a 10-year stretch, I was at a funeral every 6 months. It's been too long since somebody's passed. It doesn't feel real. It's been a decade, maybe a couple people here or there, but nobody that's been immediate to our family. My mom and my stepdad, they're not young. And this episode, uh, with mother's passing, I don't know what will happen to me when that day comes. And if I'm lucky, it's not for another 20 years, right? I could be a 50-year-old man and I'd be pretty happy. That's a lot of time, I think. 15 years with somebody is not a lot of time. 50, I could be okay with 50. But if something happened, I don't know what happens to me. And you guys see, I'm pretty reserved. The emotions don't always come through, but laughter. And I want to watch these things and critique them and laugh with them and enjoy the ride and like the bad episodes and disagree with the really good episodes and go on about my business. But this is very dark and it's very deep and it's very serious. And it's just a TV show, but it's just important to tell people you love them, I guess. And that's what this has given me. And I feel that the weight of the sadness kind of leaving my body. And I appreciate that because it's very depressing. I'm sorry for the cold open, but after the end of the last episode, I had to bleed right into it. I could go on and on with those stories, but that was the one personal one I wanted to share. And life is cruel, but we have to make the most of it. To focus up and wrap up the episode, Buffy, Dawn, and their friends deal with the aftermath of Joyce's death. This debuted on February the 27th, 2001, with a 9.7 rating. And in my opinion, I think it's a perfect 10 episode. And I mean that. There's no audio. There's no music. I like the one shot there for a minute with Buffy in the house. The vampire breaks it up. I don't think they should have did the intro music. You have people who gave it a 1. Rating on IMDb because they want to be edgy or fucking something. And everybody else has it as a perfect 10, really. It's heartbreaking. It's real. The throwing up is real. People say they'll skip the episode because it's triggering. And, it's people's own opinions. If that's too much for you, I understand. For some trivia, Joss Whedon wanted the scenes to be long, which is why there are 4 scenes other than the Christmas scene. Whedon has stated that he wanted to capture how it feels to be stuck when grief strikes. There's no music either, because Whedon said the music is a comfort to the audience. The episode begins with a flashback of the gang's Christmas dinner because he didn't want the cast and crew credits to appear over the main scene of Buffy finding her mom, which makes sense. I would say you should have left the credits to the end of it, but I don't know how TV works, so. During her time filming the body, Kristen Sutherland only blinked once on camera, which was taken out using CGI. And shot out her neck. I was watching her neck vein. It didn't even fucking move. This episode features only diegetic sounds. Yeah, music is a comfort. Josh Whedon's rejection of the very special episode format implied him to address the physicality of Willow and Tara's relationship. Before this episode, they had held hands and danced on screen, but they had not kissed. The genre of television specials dealing with female homosexuality developed as the lesbian kiss episode in the 1990s, where a female character kissed another female in a relationship. It's further explored. Whedon set out to acknowledge Willow and Tara's affection without making the primary focus of the show. For attempting this, he received resistance from the airing network, the WB. Whedon informed them that the kiss between Willow and Tara was not negotiable. According to Whedon, the conversation about the kiss was approached by network executives who were concerned the number of gay relationships on the network. Whedon countered that the kiss was true to character and said he would quit the show if the network forbade it. It was the only time during the series he threatened to do so. It's crazy for him to be such a shitty person. He does really good things from time to time. The most difficult scene for Joss Whedon to film was Willow panicking in the dormitory room. Her obsession with what to wear to visit Buffy was inspired by Whedon's own expression when he was at a loss for what to wear to a friend's funeral. He praised Allison's acting, saying that she was able to consistently emotional on every take and make him and the crew cry every time. Whedon acknowledged his difficulty speaking on the DVD commentary while watching Allison in the scene. Joyce is noticeably absent in much of season 4. She apparently told Joss Whedon that she wanted to leave the show and move abroad. His reply was, "You can't leave because I'm going to kill you." Sarah Michelle Gellar fought against the decision to kill off Joyce. Joss Whedon stated on the DVD commentary how surprised he was at the response from viewers who wrote to say that the episode allowed them to accept the death of a close family member. Joss's mother, a teacher who died of cerebral aneurysm, and he drew on this experience and those of friends and other writers in constructing the episode. He tried to achieve an unlovely physicality to portray the upsetting. I can't read the rest of that. Sorry. Emma Caulfield Ford, who plays Anya, was asked what emotions she was feeling when she filmed her monologue on why she didn't understand, and admitted that she had been filming all day without a break, and the only thing she was thinking was what she really had to go to the bathroom. From the start of writing the series, Joss Whedon asserted that it would never have a very special episode where the core cast of actors address a single issue, AIDS, drugs, alcoholism, for example, and resolve all problems at the end. Whedon was not interested in finding a life-affirming lesson. Rather, he wanted to capture the isolation and boredom involved in the minutes and hours after finding a loved one had died, and what termed the black ashes in your mouth, numbness of death. He did not intend to resolve any religious or existential questions about the end of life, but wanted to examine the process in which a person becomes a mere body. Both Buffy and Dawn were raised by single women, Sarah and Michelle. After Gellar later spoke about the experience of acting, something that was very real and close to her, stating, "You try to separate the best you can, at the same time it adds an extra layer." As soon as the scene was finished with Gellar at a fever pitch, they restarted it where she becomes in the door happily, which Joss Whedon regretted for the emotional range Gellar was required to endure. It's fucked up. The opening sequence was also the closing scene of the previous episode. This was the only episode in the series that first aired without it previously on Buffy. Kristen Sutherland, Joyce, was informed during the 3rd season that her character would be killed off, which she accepted because she intended to spend time in Europe. She is absent in most of the 4th season because she was traveling. She reported the atmosphere of the set was strange and tense because she had been a regular character through the series and she was suddenly playing a corpse. She found the part difficult to play, not for the stillness, but getting into the makeup and lying in the morgue table with the other bodies. The unique framing of the paramedics, where they're barely on camera, was used to convey that many important people are present during the end of life process, but it's hard to focus on them. I don't remember anybody that I talked to at the funeral. Joss praised the performance of the two actors that were only there for brief in view. Joss, Sarah, Allison, Nicholas, and Tom Lenk all cited this as their favorite episode. Among their favorite episodes. According to Joss Whedon in the DVD commentary, he had included Joyce in the scene at the table and not had separated from the Scoobies in the kitchen. He wishes he had included Joyce at the scene at the table and not had her separated in the other room. I see what he's saying. Every commercial break, scene break would begin and end with the body. Most often, Joyce and also Don's artwork in the negative space, which was to represent a lifeless body. Spike does not appear in this episode, marking only his only non-appearance in the series since becoming a regular in season 4. It's good. It's a hard way to work him in. This is what Buffy and Don say in the scene where Buffy tells Joyce is dead. Mom died this morning while we were both at school. Don says no. I don't know exactly what happened, but she's dead. Don says, no, you're lying. And Buffy says, Donnie. And then Don says it's not true. The Christmas scene takes place between Into the Woods and Checkpoint. Just to give you a reference. Into the Woods is season 5, episode 10, which takes place December 19th, 2000, and Checkpoint is season 5, episode 12, which takes place January 23rd. But obviously, just takes place after Into the Woods. Excuse me. What? Joss Whedon's got a series of ads in Hollywood to trade papers to promote this landmark episode. Tara's mentioned her mother's death. We first found out her mother was dead in the episode Family. Buffy talking Entertainment Weekly about her personal favorite episodes. Says season 3 is The Prom and seasons 4, Who Are You, as well with this one. The German title for this was Tod ihrer Mutter, which is Death of a Mother. The French title was something I can't pronounce, which is Orphan Girls. Jesus Christ. It is said that if you dream of an open grave while it's raining, someone you know will die within a year. Faith awoke from a dream such as this almost exactly in this year's Girl. Talks about their time at the morgue. Dorm room is 213. Willow and Buffy's room in the previous year was 214. That's not relevant to this. The rest are considered under spoilers. I'm going to leave it there. Sudden things. I'll leave you guys with one more story. I'm not going to mention any names in this. An ex, when we dated, her father passed suddenly, had a heart attack, and we had just saw him the day before, and I get a phone call saying that he was dead. That's also very eerily similar to this episode, and I just don't want to go into details, just to respect those people because I'm no longer in contact with them. But they just wanted to end it by saying that this episode is very, very real. I don't know if they ever watched that, and I hope not, because I feel like the scene would destroy them. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't know how long the runtime is. I'll probably make this episode free on Patreon, but I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you guys for sticking out through this. I'm gonna take a couple days probably before I watch the rest of the episodes for the week. So for now, I'll head out. Much love from me to you. If you ever lost somebody, my thoughts are with you. I don't know what else to say. Links and everything in the description box down there. Playlist. Stay cute, stay hydrated. I'll catch you on the next one.